Hello friends, in this video, I would like to show you an array. An array is a way to store multiple values using only one variable. And to show you an array, I will give you a demonstration. So let's say that you're a teacher and you have 5 students, and the students all take a test. So you will have 5 test scores. And let's say you want a way to store the 5 test scores so that you can analyze the scores later. For example, you can do an average of the test scores. So how do we store these test scores? So the way we've been doing it so far is we've been storing one value per variable. For example, we can do this. Okay, so the first test score is stored in the variable test score 1. So because we have 5 scores, we will have to copy this and do it multiple times. Okay, so now that we have stored the 5 test scores, we can find the average. Okay, so I'm not going to do the actual average. I'll just put ... here. But I think you guys get the point of what I'm doing. So the way I'm doing it right now seems very inefficient because you see every score is called test score. It's just different because one is called 1, one is called 2, and creating all of these variables for these related values all seems very inefficient. So is there a way I can store it easier? And the answer is yes, you can. The way is to store all 5 numbers inside a matrix, which we call an array. So I can create a test score array. Okay, and in this test score array, I can just store it as a matrix. So an array in Python is inside a library called NumPy. So we have to import NumPy first. So I will import NumPy as NP. So that means that I can use any function in NumPy as long as I preface the name of the function with np dot. Okay, so in the NumPy library, there is a function called array. So I just put np dot array. And as you know, after every function, you have to put parentheses. Okay, so what is the argument that I put inside the parentheses? The answer is you put in the array of test scores. So an array is just a matrix. So it has brackets like this. Okay, so the test scores, you just type them in and you separate each test score with a comma. Okay, so here is the array that I just created. So to explain to you how to distinguish each value in this array, I have drawn this picture here. So the very first value in the array, which is 80, that number exists in position 0 of the array. So in position 0, I can write 80. So in position 1 of the array, I have 70. And so on and so forth. Okay, so if you want to print out the number 60, for example, you just print out that position of the array. So the array is called test score array, and for the position, you have to put brackets, and you put position 0, 1, 2. So the number 60 is in position 2. So we can run. And you see, we get the score 60. Okay, let's say that you want to find the average of the 5 scores. How do you do that? Well, the first thing we can do is find the sum of the 5 scores. Once we have the sum, we can divide by 5 and get the average score. Okay, so I'm going to create a variable called sum, which I will initialize to 0. and you will see why later. So to add up all these 5 scores, I will create a for loop that will loop 5 times. Okay, so I have created this for loop. It says for count in range 0, 5. So count starts at 0. Okay, so this begins our first loop. So what do? We have the new value for sum is equals to the existing sum, which is 0, plus test score array position 0, because count is 0. So what's the value in position 0? It is 80. Okay, so that's the end of our first loop. Now count is 1. And when we execute the code, the new sum is the existing sum plus test score array, the value in position 1, and that is 70. Okay, so that's the end of this loop. So now we loop again. So now count is 2. And again, the new sum is going to be the existing sum plus test score array value in position 2. So position 2 is 60. So now I will just go through the last 2 loops. Okay, so once it reaches count 4, it stops, because you always stop at 1 before the maximum value of the range. So you see now, the sum has added up all 5 values. So let's see if it works. So I'll print the sum, and let me delete this part here. Okay, so now you see the sum is 350. So the average must have been divided by 5. So the average test score is 70. Alright everyone, that's it for this video. If you found this video to be of value to you, then please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.